Coming up on this week's episode of Capital City Sports, Gamecock baseball is in action all week at home as they take on Presbyterian and defending national champion Vanderbilt. This is Capital City Sports. Hello everyone, and welcome inside this week's episode of Capital City Sports. I'm Brett Williams. This week there weren't too many events going on in Columbia, but South Carolina baseball definitely gave fans their weekly Gamecock fix. First up on Tuesday, they welcomed in their first opponent of the week, the Presbyterian Blue Hose, from just up the road in Clinton, South Carolina. The Gamecocks were coming off a less than stellar weekend at Florida, where they were swept by the Gators with a cumulative run total of 38-10. Will they get back to their winning ways on Tuesday? Here's Nick Jones with the highlight.
Thanks, Brett. South Carolina hopes to get back to their winning ways after suffering 3 straight losses to Florida last weekend. We start the action at the top of the second with the Blue Hose already ahead 2-0 with runners on the corners. Bully Montriani brings in Midkiff with a single out to center field. Jared Martin tries to catch a runner stealing second but overthrows the second baseman, and Martin runs to home plate to give Presbyterian the lead 4-0. We fast forward to the bottom of the third, and Madison Stokes singles out to left field to get momentum running for the Gamecocks. Elliott Caldwell shoots one up the middle to help bring in Schrock and Stokes to make the score 4-2 in the Blue Hose favor. Later on in the sixth, DC Arendas pops one up to center field, and PC's center fielder makes a nice diving catch and throws it back to home plate, but Caldwell dives in and is safe after a mishandled catch by Cam McRae. Gamecocks now trail 4-3. Now the bottom of the ninth, and South Carolina needs a score. Cone hits one down the center, but after a bad exchange between the Presbyterian midfielders, the Gamecocks have runners on first and second. The fielding errors continue for the Blue Hose as Max Schrock hits one down the first baseline, and Cone runs in to tie the game at 4. Presbyterian responds in extra innings with 3 runs at the top of the 10th, and would prove to be too much for the Gamecocks. The Blue Hose get the win 7-4. South Carolina takes on Vanderbilt this weekend for a 3-game series at Carolina Stadium. Now back to you, Brett.
So tough luck for the Gamecocks, and even tougher luck that their next opponent was the Vanderbilt Commodores, coming off their first ever national title. That said, it has been a game South Carolina fans have been waiting for all year, trying to get Vanderbilt to Carolina Stadium and show them how baseball is done in Columbia. Thursday night, Vanderbilt showed more about how baseball was done in Nashville as the Commodores blanked the Gamecocks 12-0 in the series opener. On Friday night was Game 2 and another shot for the Gamecocks. John Dowdy was there, and we sent it to him for the highlight.
Thanks, Brett. Coach Holbrook turned to his ace for Game 2, and he shined early, getting Roe Coleman to strike out in the first, followed by Xander Wheel in the second, then Coleman again to end the Commodores' at-bat in the third. At the bottom of the same inning, Gene Cohn swipes second base to set up DC Arendas, who serves up the 3-1 offering from Bueller into the left field seats to put the Yardcocks up 2-0. This is USC's first lead in 37 innings of play. Wynkoop would continue his dominance, getting Wheel to whiff twice, followed by Jason DeLay coming up empty, then completely freezing Jaron Kendall for strikeout number 10, matching his career high. But with 2 on and 2 out in the 7th, Rhett Wiseman bloops a single into center field, scoring both runners and tying the game heading into the stretch. However, the boys and the birds would not go away. 4 consecutive walks issued by Vanderbilt pitchers would plate Clark Scolamaro. Then the man of the hour, Kyle Martin, skies one into center field, allowing Gene Cohn to scamper home from third base, putting USC back on top 4-2. That was Kyle Martin's 40th RBI of the season. Strikeouts 11 and 12 came for Wynkoop in the 8th, giving him a new career high. And finally, a Gene Cohn sacrifice fly in the 8th would give the Gamecocks the last insurance run they needed to put Vanderbilt away. Wynkoop pitched a clean 9th inning to pick up his first career complete game and give USC a chance to take the series from the Commodores. Final score at Carolina Stadium, 5-2. Back to you, Brett.
Meanwhile, during the Vanderbilt series, the state of South Carolina was hosting its lone annual PGA Tour event, the RBC Heritage Tournament, at Harbour Town Golf Links in Hilton Head. Earlier in the semester, the CCS crew got an inside look at the course, played annually the first week after the Masters, and put together this Sights and Sounds feature. It's produced by Kristen Whitaker. And now heading back to Carolina Stadium, we send it to John Wagner with coverage of Saturday's final showdown between South Carolina and Vanderbilt.
Coming into this season, this was a highly anticipated matchup, but after an underwhelming season thus far, the Gamecocks look to take this series as their first in the past 5 SEC series. They'll start Clark Schmidt and they'll look to take the win. Let's see if they can do just that. The lines have been chalked and there's a good crowd on hand for this rubber match. Things get rolling here in the bottom of the second as Xander Weil whiffs hard on a Clark Schmidt pitch, and Logan Koch says, no, 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 not today. Catches Will Toffee stealing second. However, next at bat, Commodores get their revenge. Jaron Kendall puts one in the bushes for the first run of the game and his second home run of the year. Gamecocks hoping to trigger some magic with the Angels in the outfield, out in the dugout, but on the field they won't be able to get anywhere for a while. Jaron Kendall trying to get another ball over the wall, but he'll leave that just short for a double to start the 4th inning. And 2 batters later, he'll cross the plate on a wild pitch by reliever Cody Mincy, making it 2-0, the last run Vandy could put up in this game. Moving up to the 6th inning, the Angels have arrived for Carolina as DC Arendis starts the inning getting hit by a pitch. And on the next at-bat, Max Schrock is going to step up, grip it and rip it, slugs a triple to right center, scoring DC, making the score now 2-1. And Kyle Martin's going to try to put Schrock home on his outing, and he is just going to get walked. Just boring walk. He wanted to get a grand slam, if that's even possible, but it's not, and that's going to be the day for Vandy starter John Kilchowski. That'll bring in Kyle Wright. Martin didn't get his chance, but Alex Destino will. He's going to hit home Max Schrock, tying the ball game at 2 apiece. After a brief break in the action, thanks to a Jordan Gore backwards K, Logan Koch is going to seal the deal with a single to left, putting Kyle Martin across the plate and Carolina in the lead by a score of 3-2. And that would be just about all the action in this game. We're going to move ahead to the abbreviated 9th inning. Taylor Widener is looking to close out the campaign, sitting down Nolan Rogers. Tyler Campbell on this fly ball to deep, deep, deep center field, and Roe Coleman in that order, and that'll be the game. And rain or shine, the Gamecocks put up a complete performance the day after Jack Winecoop's complete game on Friday, and they will win this game by a final score of 3-2. This marks the first SEC Series win for the Gamecocks since sweeping Kentucky back in March. Cody Mincy is credited with the win, while Taylor Widener will get the save, and Alex Destino and Max Schrock both get 2 hits for the Gamecocks as team leaders in this game. They'll face Furman on Tuesday in Greenville at Fluor Field. For Capital City Sports, I'm John Wagner.
Also in action this past weekend were the South Carolina men's and women's golf team competing in the SEC tournament, and the South Carolina equestrian team competing in Waco, Texas in the national tournament. We'll have the results for both of those championships next week, but for now that concludes this week's episode of Capital City Sports. Don't forget in the meantime to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Capital City Sports and on Twitter at CCS on SGTV. For all of us here at CCS, I'm Brett Williams. Carolina, forever to thee.